So if it's okay, my idea is to briefly explain what is Polygon. I think the best thing is that whenever you have any question, please let me know, because sometimes we have this professional unconsciousness in blockchain industry that we tend to get maybe too technical or too into the like the blockchain geek, to say so, or the Web3 geek. And please stop me, ask me any questions at any time. I prefer this to be more of a conversation rather than me, like, throwing around data and things about Polygon and maybe not solving your more generic questions, doubts, or even your thesis or ideas about the Web3 industry in general, or Polygon in particular. Okay. So if that's okay, I am going to present my screen. And also another thing that I wanted, I usually, when I do this type of presentations, I don't know if there is any like general thing that you are more interested about Polygon in particular, or even Web3 in general, so I can more or less adapt my presentation to that, or we can just start, and based on the content we can adapt. So whatever you think makes more sense, but I want to make the most out of this time, so what I'm saying is of interest for you guys.
Thanks, Manuel. Just I don't know if Gonzalo already talked to you, probably, but since this is an introductory course, it's great to have you to also have a big picture understanding of the Web3 ecosystem from the industry point of view. And I think maybe there will be also like more detailed questions or specific points that we can develop during the discussion. But I mean, also, however you intended to start the presentation is also fine. We can also develop the discussion.
Okay. Perfect. Like I would say the presentation is quite generic. It's a super introductory presentation, so I think we're good on that end. Okay, so if you want me to dig deeper or deep dive on anything, you just let me know. Okay.
Yeah, and later I think Manuel will be interested in also maybe some use cases that you related to our world. We will try to ask you, and you can give examples or whatever.
Yeah, I'm happy to even to share my screen, like directly some apps that are built on Polygon and these kind of things that probably are way more useful than just throwing some names and random logos, if that's okay. And after the class, I'm also happy to share a follow-up email with the biggest projects on Polygon, or even the biggest like pieces of research about Polygon, and so on. So I think if anyone wants to know more or dig deeper, I'm happy to provide those assets.
Perfect, thanks.
Okay, awesome. So basically the presentation today is about, as I said before, about Polygon. So let me start with what is Polygon. Okay, so Polygon is basically a blockchain infrastructure company. So to start with, blockchain means like decentralized databases. So basically, usually when currently, like, internet is run on centralized databases, usually in the cloud. So everything, or the vast majority of the internet is basically built on top of servers from Amazon Web Services, from Google Cloud, from Microsoft Azure. But that brings like many like value for this type of companies. But it also means that the value that is generated across the internet has what we like to call like the gatekeepers. No, so the gatekeepers are the usual suspects, which are usually these FANG companies like Facebook, Amazon, Alphabet, Google, were a couple of years, even Netflix, and so on. No, so the ethos of the Web3 movement and of blockchain in general is that we believe that a fairer distribution of the value that is created around the internet in general can be distributed through distributed ledger technologies, no, through blockchain. Okay, that's like the general ethos of this movement, and that's where big projects, big Web3 based with big blockchain projects arise. The most famous one is Bitcoin, that I'm sure that everyone knows about. The second biggest one is Ethereum, which is the one that Polygon is totally tied to. But there is also Solana. There is also on the DeFi space like Uniswap. There is also on the trading space like Binance, OKX, Kraken, like all these type of projects. No, that I'm happy to dig deeper if needed. So Polygon is a layer 2 project. Okay, what does that mean? That means that we basically Ethereum is a protocol that is like a programmable blockchain. So this means that you can run and execute smart contracts on top of it. Okay, in Bitcoin you cannot run any programmable thing. Well, now there are starting to be some projects to use Bitcoin virtual machine to execute some programs, but conceptually it's more of a peer-to-peer, like in a sense like even like a payments project, not company but project. But the Ethereum is a virtual machine that basically can run smart contracts. What happens that Ethereum is a very secure environment. It's very decentralized. Like it has like thousands of node operators distributed around the world, but it doesn't scale. Okay, so Ethereum has optimized more towards decentralization and security and less to scalability. And scalability is a problem. Why? Because there are many use cases that need to happen on that we believe that have more value when happening on chain that basically cannot be run on Ethereum because Ethereum doesn't have like the capacity to run them. Okay, so things like payments, things like trading, things like DeFi in general, even gaming, and so on and so forth. So acknowledging that problem, the Ethereum Foundation designed a roadmap to evolve the protocol into what they call the modular ecosystem. Okay, and modular ecosystem means that there are projects that are built on top of Ethereum that they basically batch transactions in order to increase the speed of this protocol, and basically batch them and just use Ethereum just for the settlement. Okay, and Polygon is basically like the biggest. We call them L2, layer 2. No, Ethereum is a layer 1, and then the L2s they batch transactions and use the layer 1 as the settlement layer. Okay, so that is basically what Polygon does. And with that regard, we build like different protocols for different use cases. The one that we are most known for, and here I'm gonna put the pointer. Yeah, is Polygon POS, which is a public sidechain. Then Polygon CKEVM is more, it's called a zero knowledge layer 2. Okay, we can discuss the differences if needed. Polygon CDK is more of a way of building your own chain infrastructure. And then Polygon Maiden is a chain that is focused on privacy. Okay, so basically we have the same, all these chains have the same objective of scaling Ethereum, but optimizing towards different use cases. So here, this is more on privacy, so this is more linked on the enterprise world and so on. POS is more on speed, so maybe you can go on gaming and so on and so forth. Okay, so and this is like the initial introduction. If you understand that, then the rest of the presentation is super easy to follow. So when did Polygon start and what has happened? No, so Polygon is just like a 7-year-old company. It was founded in 2017 by 3 Indian guys and 1 Serbian guy. Then the initial like exchange offering and the big momentum for the Polygon token called the Matic. It was in 2019 when it was listed on Binance, which is the biggest exchange out there. And then in 2020, we launched the POS chain, which is our biggest product and is the chain that basically Polygon is well known for. Then 2021, we were rebranded to from Matic to Polygon. And then in the next 2 years, Polygon made a huge bet on a blockchain scaling technology, which is called zero knowledge. Okay, so there are basically there are many ways to scale the blockchain, but there are like two big mainstream ways to scale the blockchain. One of them is through, it's called optimistic rollups. Another one is zero knowledge rollups. Now there is like a big war between those technologies and who has the best approach to scaling Ethereum, to scaling blockchain in general, and so on. And Polygon can be considered as the biggest project that is fully betting on zero knowledge tech. No, so in these 2 years, the Polygon team bought 3 different zero knowledge companies. One of them called Hermes, another one called Mir Protocol, and the other one called Zero. So basically, those acquisitions were basically founder-led acquisitions, and in order to get all that intellectual capital to fund the development of zero knowledge technology. And then after that, the focus has been on 2 things. The first one is on solving the scaling problem through zero knowledge, and secondly, solving the fragmentation problem. Okay, because as I told you before, Ethereum decided to increase its capacity through layer 2s, but what has happened is that there are many layer 2s out there that they don't talk to each other. No, so basically that results in a very, very bad user experience or final user experience that also needs to be solved. So the 2 big problems are scalability and fragmentation, and those are the 2 things that Polygon is heavily trying to solve. So as I said before, Polygon POS for us is our biggest product out there. It is super fast, it is super cheap, and it's basically extremely secure. It has never been hacked since Genesis, since launch. And it's sufficiently decentralized with more than 100 validators, and it's one of the protocols that integrates faster EIPs. EIPs are Ethereum improvement proposals. So basically, Ethereum is built on public, as it's a public good. So whenever a developer wants to propose an improvement to Ethereum, it needs to go through the Ethereum improvement proposal process. And Polygon prouds itself of being of one of the fastest projects to implement any EIP that makes sense for us. No, so we are super tight and super close to the Ethereum Foundation and the Ethereum community. So just to give you some numbers and put this into perspective. So in year to date in 2024, we have done I think as of today, because this is a bit old. More than 1 billion transactions. We have close to 1 billion TVL, total value locked on chain. We are one of the biggest chains in terms of NFT sales volume, more than 7.2 billions. We have more than 40 million active wallets, more than 1 million daily users. Every day we have between 4 and 5 million transactions. So basically, we have we pride ourselves of having one of the biggest ecosystems out there, super healthy metrics, and basically a lot of on-chain activity happening within our products and tech stack. So how are we able to achieve that? So the biggest concern or the biggest focus for us is being top of mind for developers. No, so here you can see these numbers from July 2024, but this is a survey from one of the the leading VCs in the Web3 space, and you can see that Polygon is number 3 in terms of devs, of number of devs full time working on the protocol, just right after Ethereum and Base. No, Base has surged a lot, very close to Coinbase activity. Is a NYSE listed stock and company, so basically they are really doing well. And just right after Ethereum and Base, it's Polygon. No, of course you see the usual suspects like Polkadot, Arbitrum, Cosmos, Solana, but basically we are in a healthy third position, very close to Base, and hopefully we can get closer to Ethereum. And why this is important for us? Because the more developers we have, the more dApps will be created, and then the more general adoption. No, so basically it all starts from them, because that developers are the ones that help us create this positive flywheel that can lead us to grow the numbers that I was mentioning before. No, the numbers on transactions, the number of unique active wallets, and the number of TVL, which in the end is what we are aiming for, because the bigger the on-chain activity we have, the bigger the use cases we explore on-chain, and the bigger the traction we get and the benefit we get. No, so we are able to basically reduce costs, make our ecosystem healthy and more sustainable, and also accrue value to our users and to our token holders. Okay. So out of all of this conundrum of things that are happening, I wanted to put here just into context a couple of logos. I'm sorry about putting the logos here. We can afterwards dig deeper on some use cases if you want to, but companies that have built an actual product on top of Polygon. No, so here you can see the more traditional companies like Nike or even Disney, more on the NFT space. Magic Eden, which is one of the biggest NFT marketplaces, and OpenSea, also integrated with Polygon. You see big traditional financial companies like JP Morgan working with us. We have also done things with Securitize, Bevan Howard, all these big international asset management funds. We are also super present with the more crypto, degen, meme space, Cool Cats, also on gaming with DraftKings. Basically, we touch every single project, company, or vertical that accrues value on chain. Okay, so this is the idea. This is not to proud ourselves and show 100 of different logos, but it's basically to show that we are a general purpose chain with a strong focus on the different verticals that we believe have more sense or can accrue more value on chain. And what are those specific verticals? No, so for us, this is our, in a sense, our north star in terms of business development and chain growth. No, so what we believe and what really needs or makes more sense on chain are these specific verticals or use cases. No, so verticals linked to liquidity, as I said before, as Gonzalo said before. I'm super focused on payments, stable coins, and the real world assets. Then all things linked to blockchain infra at a protocol level, at a middleware level, or even at a pure Web3 building blocks. So things like sequencers, key store rollups, block builders, and so on. There's still a lot to be unpacked and a lot to be researched on that end. Deepin, which is all these decentralized physical infrastructure networks. In Polygon, we have, for instance, one very cool that is called Demo Network. That is basically it tries to connect in a decentralized way data from cars in order to basically to extract value from that. No, so it can be from selling that data to, I don't know, to influence where electric chargers are put in a given city. It can also be sold to the authorities to increase, I don't know, or to better allocate where warnings should be put on danger roads and these kind of things. No, gaming, of course, is one of the biggest use cases, and at Polygon we pride ourselves of having one of the biggest Web3 gaming ecosystems out there. General purpose, which is Polygon POS, what we were discussing before. Fun, and here we are seeing like a lot of traction on the predictive markets space. I don't know if you are probably most of you are following. I don't know if closely, but at least following the American elections. And one of the biggest or the most repeated sources to understand how the elections are going is an application called Polymarket that is basically basically you can bet on anything, but in this case it's getting a lot of traction, the American election, on who's going to win the American elections. And that bet is being run by a smart contract that is being put on top of Polygon. Okay, so at this point in time, actually later on I can show you, but I think it's more than $1 billion already locked on that bet, and depending on who wins, so you will see people, or if I don't know, if the Democrats win, so when you're betting for the Democrats, you will make that money, and the guys voting for the Republicans, they lose. So it's basically like a sum zero game, and it's good because it shows you in real time the estimation of vote based on the actual money that you are willing to put. No, so it basically improves the traditional polling system that many times is super biased, and we believe that it's a better way of showing the actual reality of things, basically because people here are putting their money where their mouth is. No, this is not just asking random people on the streets, but it's about betting your money. No, so we'll see what happens, but in the last 3 to 4 weeks, looks like the Republicans are really surging, at least on Polymarket. So let's see what happens. Then of course DeFi, all the here you have like mainly like decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, SushiSwap, QuickSwap in Polygon, but also you have lending and borrowing protocols like I don't know, Centrifuge, Maple Finance, Pendle, and basically here there is like a lot of exploration on things like liquidity pools, and smart contract based lending, and these kind of things. Still a lot to be unpacked and solved on this regard, but for sure is one of the biggest verticals that we have out there. Consumer crypto, again, this is everything linked to engagement through blockchain. It's linked to community building. It's linked to to Web3 engagement in general. No, and here also we have like lots of NFT projects. We have also done some work on the meme coin space and so on and so forth. And finally, marketplaces, which I said before, now we're integrated with the biggest ones like OpenSea, Magic Eden, and basically it is no longer as it used to be. That's the honest truth in terms of volume, because the NFT craziness was 2021, late 21, beginning of 2022, and now it's more of the meme coin mania or something. But I think here there's also like a lot to unpack and a lot of adaptation to be done. Okay, so I'm gonna pause here for a second because I just spoke 20 minutes in a row, and I don't know if there is any question, any ideas that pop up to your mind, or any extra, I don't know, general comment, that anything that resonates, or I keep explaining.
Manuel?
Yeah.
Maybe one thing that would be super useful to us is if you don't mind, of course, take one of those few examples and explain what exactly Polygon is providing, or maybe take one of the companies you showed as an example and say, okay, where does Polygon is actually intervening, either as a full-blown Web3 project or as some kind of graft into an existing ecosystem that is not Web3?
Yeah. Okay. So if that's okay, I'm gonna show one decentralized exchange, like the biggest one, which is Uniswap, and then I'm going to show Polymarket, so you can see like the actual betting, and then I'm going to show an RWA project that is called Courtyard, that is also I think super interesting. Those are like one of our top 3 like biggest projects out there probably. So I'm gonna share my screen here.
Right.
1 second, and I think it's better to go directly to the DApp level. So Uniswap, okay, and I will show you here. It's okay. So Uniswap is basically a decentralized exchange. So what does this mean? 1 second, there you go. This means that it's a place where you can swap tokens from like any type of assets that lives on any chain to any type of asset that lives on any other chain. Okay, so I will explain that in a few. So the first thing that you see here is that I am logged in as this is my name, like Echanove.eth. So basically here, well, okay, it's okay, but the thing is that I'm sorry about showing numbers, but what I want to show here is that this is my address, okay, and the address in this case comes from MetaMask, which is like my wallet. Okay, so in order to log yourself, and actually I think I'm gonna disconnect and connect so you can actually see what I'm trying to say. So when you come to Uniswap, you need to log in. So instead of logging in through Gmail, Apple, or whatever, or your general mail, you connect yourself with your wallet. Okay, so here are different types of wallets. In my case, I have MetaMask, and a wallet is basically like a digital wallet, okay, where you have your money or your tokens or whatever you want to hold on chain. Okay, and the cool thing about these wallets is that they are non-custodial wallets. What does this mean? This means that the only person that has access to what lives on in my case on MetaMask is me. So there is no bank, no government, no any institution that can just tap into these assets. This is completely different to anything that you do in any normal financial system. No? Like if you have your assets in your bank, they can be intervened by the government, they can be intervened by the bank itself, or you cannot. You need to trust on external third parties. Here, you don't need to. So if I connect my MetaMask, it opens here like a pop-up. So basically, I say, okay, MetaMask, connect to this application. So I give them permission to do so. So basically, Uniswap can see my address, my account balance, blah, blah. So the things that Uniswap needs to know for me to play with this application, I confirm, and then boom, it's connected. So here, what I can do, what I can do is, if I go to here to my MetaMask, you see that there are different chains, no? So now I'm connected to Ethereum, but I also have I could also connect to Polygon, to Linea, to Base, to CKVM. This is like a list of different chains, no? So an asset lives on a chain, so I need to connect to different chains. So in my case, as I work for Polygon, I represent Polygon, I will connect to Polygon, okay? So in Polygon, I do have like 9,000 Pol, $1 or $1 USDM, which is like a crypto dollar, 500 WBGC, which I don't know what it is. So these are like tokens. Then I could have NFTs here, and then here I can see all the activity that is happening. No, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with the tokens that I have here, no? For instance, with Pol, which is the token from Polygon. So here I would need to put, instead of Ethereum, I need to go to Pol, okay? No, which this is the asset that I have, Pol. And then imagine that I want to change or to swap 1,000 Pol, which is $320, for USDC, which is basically crypto US dollar, no? So what I could do here is basically make that swap. If I want to review it, so they say, okay, for 1,000 Pol, which are valued at $319.85, they would give me $318.86. Where is the difference? The difference is the fee from the swap, okay? And then I also have a network cost, which is the cost of operating Polygon. And then if I click here on swap, then boom, this happens automatically, okay? So this is basically the basic use case for a DEX. Here, like the representation is simple and so on, but the mechanics behind this and being able to do this just with smart contracts and without liquidity provided per transaction, it's really like a groundbreaking innovation. No, so this works with what we call liquidity pools. It's a DeFi concept, but again, this is like the basic thing that you can see, that you can do. No, and as you see here, both assets need to live in the same chain. Okay. So this is like the basic thing, swapping. So what happens if instead of swapping, what I want to do is bridging? And what do I mean by bridging? By bridging, I mean, okay, I want to move, imagine my Pol tokens, instead of being on Polygon, I want them to be on another chain, like Avalanche, no? So for that, I can go to my MetaMask and I say, okay, I want to bridge. So I would come here and I say, I allow, no, use MetaMask. So I say, okay, from this network, from Polygon to Avalanche, for instance, and I want to send Polygon, okay? And I want to receive USDT, which is another crypto dollar, on Avalanche. And again, I want to do the same thing, like 1,000 Pol. No, in this case, instead of swapping on my chain, I'm bridging to a different chain. Again, this is linked to the fragmentation problem that I was referring to at the very beginning. So, what happens here? So the first thing that happens is that in order to do any action on Avalanche, I need gas on Avalanche. I need AVAX token, no? So what I will need to do here is, as I don't have Avalanche, AVAX token on Avalanche, I need to add gas to operate on that chain. And here there are like 3 different things that I think are worth exploring. And sorry, I'm going to put a bit, there you go. So the first thing is that I'm using, Stargate Bridge, which is like a company called Stargate that offers these bridging services. The second thing is that here you can see, if I send the funds right now at 4:30, the end of the bridge, the estimation is that would happen at 4:48. So the bridging would take around 20 minutes. So again, this is a big problem, no? Because for this case, it's okay because I don't care waiting 20 minutes. But imagine that I'm a trader and I'm playing with an asset that can fluctuate a lot in seconds or in few minutes, no? So this is one of the big pain points that currently blockchain as an industry has. And then the second thing is, as you can see, like all the things that need to happen and all the fees that are linked to this operation. No, so basically, what happens is that I want to send like 1,000 Pol. Then the fees that I have here are like the bridge fees, which is 15 Pol. Okay, gas fee 0.1. Well, Matic or Pol is the same, so this is very low. Refuel amount is the amount of Matic that I need to use in order to transact on the other chain, on Avalanche. And then the relayer fee, that is basically like an external, protocol that you need to for bridging. It's a bit technical, so I won't get into the details. Then I also have the swap rate, which is, this one is slightly worse than the official one. So they are also taking money from this exchange rate. And basically, this is the amount of USDT I would receive on Avalanche. And this is the AVAX that I would also receive for making the transaction. No. So again, for this situation, as you saw here, like the value is 320 US dollar more or less. I am getting 315, 340, and 14. So it's just $5, which is 1.5% of the total of the total amount that I'm transacting. So for this case, which is a small transaction, it doesn't seem a lot. But if I'm playing with hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, it can become a big cost. No, so this is currently how interoperability between blockchain operates. So basically, it's a mess. That's the honest truth. And this is what Polygon is trying to solve for. So basically, you could just swap. You don't need to. You could swap your Pol on whatever network they are and send them to Avalanche without this hassle. No. So basically, Polygon and Avalanche would be connected, and then boom, it happens automatically with total atomicity. So there is no need to wait 20 minutes. And with, of course, way better costs than the ones that you're having right now. Okay. So this is this. If you just understand and check this, this is the biggest problem that the industry is having right now, but by far. Okay. And this is where all the giga brains in Web3 are trying to solve for. No. So here is the problem, and then to solve it, there are like many implications in terms of atomicity, in terms of validators networks, in terms of sequencing the transactions, in terms of many other things. Okay, so now I'm going to show you Polymarket, which is one of my favorites. So Polymarket, the cool thing about it is that it's an application that abstracts the blockchain. Okay, so basically, it's not like the ones that I showed you before. They are like very, very crypto oriented. So you need to have your wallet and so on. Here, for instance, you don't need to have a wallet. You could just sign up. You could use your wallets, of course, but you can play just with your email and so on. And this is another big trend that is happening, that in the industry, we are learning that the blockchain needs to be abstracted. So we need to put all the benefits of being on chain, but without the hassle of connecting to the chain. No. So for instance, right now, I'm going to use MetaMask, but I could connect by email. No, but I will use my MetaMask. The pop-up appears again. So I need to give permission again, no? So connect with MetaMask, then Polymarket needs to see the address, the account balance, blah, blah. So the same as with Uniswap, I confirm, and then it gets connected. So, boom, it says that, okay, that basically, as it is the first time I'm connected from this computer on Polymarket because I use it on the phone, it tells me like who they are, blah, blah, blah. And I say, okay, confirm. Like I trust Polymarket. Okay. And then I say, okay, my name is Manu. And I agree that I'm not a US person because, as you know, in the US, well, it's Manu. 1265. Hopefully, wow, it's Manu Echanove. Manu Echanove. Okay, no, skip. I don't want to put my mail and start trading. So, as I told you, let's go to the presidential elections, to the American presidential election winner. Okay, so if I go here, what do we see? Well, out. So what we see here is an evolution. I'm gonna, 1 second. There you go. So we see the first thing interesting is like an evolution of how the bets on Poly market are deploying. No, so basically you see like from mid-August till October, more or less, it was almost a tie, but it looks like in the last days, like there has been like a strong people betting that Trump is going to win. I think it is very linked to what happened in the last days with Trump in McDonald's, Elon Musk also supporting Trump, and so on. And many people are getting like bullish about that. So what is interesting about this? So the first thing is that there is more than 900 million US dollars betted on Trump winning, and more than 500 million, almost 600 million of US dollars betting that Kamala Harris is winning. So basically, if I can buy a yes, or I can buy a no, a yes or a no, which are basically the same things, no? And basically, when the event finishes, if I'm buying a yes for 65 cents, I will get $1 per bet I made. And if I buy a yes of Kamala, again, I would get $1, no? So right now, if I'm betting for Kamala, I have higher risk but higher reward, no? Because if I'm correct, I'm getting the dollar for the stake, no? So imagine that I want to bet, I don't know, $100. Well, I don't have balance. But here you can see the numbers. Actually, I don't need balance. So if I bet $100 that Trump, for instance, is going to win, I buy the shares for 65.7 because it's the quotation it has right now. I would buy 152 shares, and my potential return is again like $152.21. No, so basically I'm spending 65. Sorry, I'm spending $100 and I can make 152. Okay. And here, what is interesting, you see there is also like a lot of commenting, so there is like a lot of opinions and so on. You can see who are the top holders, so it's super public. You can see the activity, like who is buying and who is selling, and it also has like other related bets, no? And basically, what is interesting about this is that everything that is behind is happening on chain. And even if the, I don't know, if the guys from Polymarket decide to close Polymarket and so on, as this is living on a blockchain and on a smart contract, whenever that event happens, boom, funds are automatically distributed to addresses that are linked to the winners and taken from the addresses that are linked to the losers. Okay, so this is like the biggest bet. It has moved more than $2.5 billion already. And the cool thing is that, as I said before, like you can bet basically on anything, no? So it's basically on the presidential election, who is going to win the Ballon d'Or, if Trump is winning on swing states, who's going to be the Super Bowl champion, Champions League winner, blah, 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 no? So basically, anything that can be put on a smart contract, you can basically bet on, okay? And then the last project I wanted to show you is, I said, courtyard.io. These guys. Okay, so basically here, this project is basically an RWA marketplace. That the cool thing is that imagine, and basically here, like 50% of the sales happening here are from Pokemon cards. And basically, the cool thing is that when you have a Pokemon card, you can send that card to them. They store it in a safe vault, and they create like a digital representation, an NFT of that card, and they put that NFT on this marketplace. So basically here, I could buy here, no, for instance, this Pokemon Go Mewtwo V-Star. So the value is 38.5 and so on. And the cool thing is that the person that has basically sent that has vaulted the Pokemon card, they share the revenue that the trading is generated through Courtyard. No, so the cool thing is that the initial owner is also participating on the revenue that the marketplace is making. No, and that is only feasible or only possible through this asset being fully on chain, fully transparent, and being like absolutely unique and incorruptible in a manner. No. So again, this is like a normal marketplace. You can make an offer, you can buy it now, and as I said, no, like it's basically bolted on Brinks, which is one of the biggest and safest like bolting companies out there. You have global redemption. There is no sales tax or high fees, and blah blah. No, so I think here you can see the history of this, in this case, this asset, like if it has been sold before or no, when it was minted, any upstanding offers, and so on and so forth. No, so again, like this is another type of application that also has a blockchain very abstracted, and this can only be done through blockchain technology, because you needed to mint the Pokemon card in this case. Also, the assets and the funds to be transferred atomically through stable coins and on-chain payments makes it like super easy. And also you have all this traceability on the asset. No, so you have full transparency on who has minted it, who has bought it, at which price. So basically you are not being screwed by any means. No, and of course it helps like guarantee the full authenticity of it. No, and so yeah, I think those three things can probably be like a good summary of interesting use cases from assets living on Polygon.
Thank you.
Okay, and I mean, happy to. I have more slides here, but probably they repeat in a sense. I will summarize them in 5 minutes if that's okay. Because
Perfect.
I need to leave and I want to answer any questions if there are. But basically, as I said before, no, like the biggest problem that Ethereum has, and sorry, I don't know if there are any questions on the use cases I presented, because maybe you have questions or comments or whatever. Yeah.
I think we'll let you conclude, Manu, and then we ask the questions because we have them.
I'll run just 5 minutes. So what I said before, no, like Ethereum has like a bottleneck, and that's why we need layer 2s. And basically Polygon, what does is it aggregates transactions, it packages them, and use Ethereum just as the settlement network. No. So regarding the blockchain trilemma, so Ethereum is very decentralized, very secure, but it doesn't scale well, and that's why Ethereum decided to shift from a monolithic roadmap to a modular thesis. No, so basically the modularity is what makes them create rollups. No, rollups and L2s are exactly the same thing. No, and the biggest rollup in terms of volume transaction and so on is Polygon as of today, competing head to head with Base, and basically modularity is what allows Ethereum to scale without compromising decentralization and security, no, because we still use it as a settlement network. This is one of the same. And then how is Polygon solving for that part of the problem with Polygon CDK, no? What I said at the very beginning. So the way that Polygon allows you to create a layer 2 connected to Ethereum is through this tech stack. Okay, that's the summary. And what benefits brings you. So you have dedicated throughput, you have predictable gas and costs. That is what we were seeing before with the bridging, and you can create your custom architecture. No, so basically this is super interesting, especially for big banks and for more like traditional companies that they want to have some degree of control over their on-chain activity. But what happens with modularity? With modularity happens what I showed you before, like liquidity gets very, very fragmented. So Polygon, the way that it's trying to solve fragmentation is through a very novel protocol that is called the aggregation layer. And this is where our thesis of aggregated blockchains are stands out. So we are building it's called a cross-chain interoperability protocol secured by zero-knowledge technology that we are trying every single chain to be connected to it, so that basically we have a shared state of global chains, to say so, and we have a unified liquidity. So when you build your own chain, you focus more on on the technical side of things and less on speeding up the initial liquidity, which is a big problem, no? Because the more chains there are, the bigger the fight is for liquidity, and the bigger the costs are for everyone, and the worse the user experience is, no? So that's why Polygon is trying to solve this. We are competing with other solutions in the market, but I would say there are 3-4 of them, and the fight is between Polygon SAC layer, OP superchain, and Axelar network, and layer 0. Those are like the four big projects trying to solve for this. Here I was showing some examples of liquidity fragmentation that we went through, and the Agg layer is how we are solving it. This is a technical explanation of how it works. And this is what I want to show you. No, like basically the Agg layer ecosystem. This is not just Polygon building it, but it also has like other chains that are already connected. So you see here like Polygon POS, Polygon CKEVM, but there is also Swell, which is a ETH restaking platform, Ton network, Wirex, which is an on-chain payments company, XLayer from OKX. So there are like basically like big names also connecting to the Agg layer. It's the effort is being run by Polygon Labs, but it also has a lot of other Web3 contributors, like Espresso is on the shared sequencing, OKX is more on the decentralized wallet, of course Polygon Labs, leading the change, Toposware is a dev shop. Like basically this is being an industry, and we are positioning this like an industry effort and less of a just Polygon launching another product to the market, because this requires a lot of coordination and also even social consensus, no, to succeed. And that's it. So basically, the summary is at the very beginning, Ethereum in this case, was monolithic. Then, in order to solve the scalability problem, it became modular. And now, in order to solve the fragmentation problem, we believe that aggregated blockchains are the way to move forward and have like a seamless on-chain experience. Like Web2 experience with all the on-chain or Web3 advantages. And that's it.